All right, folks, let's get started. So today we're going to be starting out with Matthew chapter 1. I'm reading from the NLT translation. If you guys want to check out, I just posted 2 videos done by Bible Project video channel, YouTube channel. They did an excellent job of summarizing the entirety of the book of Matthew in 2 videos, so I made two parts on my channel there, so go ahead and check those out. So chapter 1, a lot of it goes over the lineage of Jesus. So kind of bear through with me through some of the names. There's going to be a lot of names that are going to be father of so, etc. And then we'll wrap it up with chapter 1 and then continue on tomorrow with chapter 2. All right, so chapter 1, Matthew, the record of Jesus' ancestors. This is the record of the ancestors of Jesus, the Messiah, the descendant of King David and of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac was the father of Jacob, Jacob was the father of Judah and his brothers. Judah was the father of Perez and Zerah, their mother was Tamar. Perez was the father of Hezron. Also, I do apologize if I butcher some of these names. Hezron was the father of Ram, Ram was the father of Aminadab, Aminadab was the father of Nechshon, Nechshon was the father of Solomon, Solomon was the father of Boaz, his mother was Rahab, Boaz was the father of Obed, his mother was Ruth. Obed was the father of Jesse, Jesse was the father of King David. David was the father of Solomon, his mother was Bathsheba, the widow of Uriah. We'll learn about that later on. Solomon was the father of Rehoboam, Rehoboam was the father of Abijah. Abijah was the father of Asaph, Asaph was the father of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat was the father of Jehoram, Jehoram was the father of Uzziah, Uzziah was the father of Jotham, Jotham was the father of Ahaz, Ahaz was the father of Hezekiah, Hezekiah was the father of Manasseh, Manasseh was the father of Amos, Amos was the father of Josiah, Josiah was the father of Jehoiachin and his brothers, born at the time of the exile to Babylon, which was about 100 years or so after I believe it was Isaiah, after he died, after the Babylonian exile. Jehoiachin was the father of Shealtiel, Shealtiel was the father of Zerubbabel, Zerubbabel was the father of Abuid, Abuid was the father of Eliakim, Eliakim was the father of Azor, Azor was the father of Zadok, Zadok was the father of Achim, Achim was the father of Eliud, Eliud was the father of Eliezer, Eliezer was the father of Mathan, Mathan was the father of Jacob, Jacob was the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. So I think it's pretty important here to point out that even though they go down the lineage of the father, right, of male figures all the way from Abraham down to King David, down to Jesus, they go from the male perspective of the lineage here because it says that he's supposed to descend from the King David and from Abraham, right? But here it states that Jacob was the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, because Joseph technically never was a part of creating Jesus. Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. So Mary, and if I'm incorrect about this, I hope that God erases this part of the memory away from you, but for my speculations, Mary must have been also from the lineage of David and Abraham in order for her to be able to bear the son Jesus, right? So the reason why Jesus had to come into a virgin is because she had to be pure, right? So a lot of the sin all the way back through the Bible, back to Adam and stuff like that, males are pretty much always are punished for the entire family, right? They're kind of the head of the family, therefore they take on the burden of the punishment for the family in a way. Again, I'm very much paraphrasing here. So that's why he had to come from a virgin, that way it's pure, right? Before the sinful nature of man could come into him through the seed of Joseph. So I do believe, again, if I'm wrong, I hope God erases this from your memory, but in my speculations, Mary was of the same lineage from David and Abraham. That is how Jesus was born. All right, so Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. All those listed above include 14 generations from Abraham to King David, and 14 from David's time to Babylonian exile, and 14 from Babylonian exile to the Messiah. So we'll actually be talking about the Babylonian exile a little bit, and about Isaiah in today's Bible study that I'll be posting a little bit later on. The birth of Jesus the Messiah. Now this is how Jesus the Messiah was born. His mother Mary was engaged to be married to Joseph, but while she was still a virgin, she became pregnant by the Holy Spirit. Joseph, her fiancé, being a just man, decided to break the engagement quietly so as not to disgrace her publicly. Excuse me. As he considered this, he fell asleep. Excuse me. As he considered this, he fell asleep, and an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Joseph, son of David, the angel said, do not be afraid to go ahead with your marriage to Mary, for the child within her has been conceived by the Holy Spirit. And she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. All of this happened to fulfill the Lord's message through his prophet. Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and he will be called Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord commanded. He brought Mary home to be his wife, but she remained a virgin until her son was born, and Joseph named him Jesus. Anyways, thank you guys so much. That is the conclusion of chapter 1. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and either throw them in a comment or, excuse me, I'm still getting over the sickness, or message me, and I will try to reply either to you back in the comments or in message, or if it's a good question, or if I have a lot of people asking the same questions, I'll go ahead and make a whole separate video on it. Anyways, stay blessed. I hope God blesses you and your family. Love you all. Take care.